Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Resident Evil 2 for the PS4. The game is also available for the Xbox One and Microsoft Windows. Resident Evil 2 is a survival horror game developed by Capcom. The game is a fully fledged remake of the original 1998 release, with the action taking place in Raccoon City. In the story campaign, you play as either Leon Kennedy, a young stud police officer heading into town for his first day on the job, or alternatively you can play as Claire Redfield, the sister of Chris from Resident Evil 1, as she tries to find her brother. The basic premise is you have to find the Raccoon City Police Department building, figure out what's going on and find a way to escape. As well as the two main campaigns, you also get a Ghost Survivor mode and several other extra features that can be unlocked via your in-game progression. So what is the game like to play? Well, I remember buying Resident Evil 2 all those years ago, and it was one of the best games I'd ever played. This game is faithful to the original for the most part, but it does add or alter some things, but all for the good of the experience. Firstly, the controls and the camera system have been overhauled, so you no longer have those awkward fixed cameras or the terrible control system. The camera is now over the shoulder and everything feels much smoother and more user-friendly in that regard. Another change are the door loading screens. No longer do you have to sit and watch a door open in a cutscene. But on the flip side, the doors won't save you anymore, as zombies can break them down. The two playable characters have been lovingly reimagined, and they've done a really good job giving these characters more detail, but more importantly more depth with their dialogue. The characters feel more fleshed out, and I found myself really caring more about them than I did in the original version. But in terms of actual gameplay, it feels like a Resident Evil game, despite the aesthetic and functional changes. It's a dark and dangerous city with zombies, lickers and other enemies hell-bent on killing you. The police station is a gothic masterpiece with narrow corridors and a claustrophobic atmosphere. This game is really terrifying, and ammunition is very scarce, zombies are lurking everywhere in all the dark corners of the building. It's very tense, very stressful, but it's one that survival horror fans will absolutely love. But it's not all about zombies and creeping around dark corridors. The game features a wide variety of puzzles that are all tied into your progression through the story. As with most Resident Evil games, certain areas are off limits at first until you find a key item to unlock it, then you can backtrack and progress the story. The puzzles really work as everything feels interconnected and nothing you do in the game feels random or of no importance. Every bullet you fire, every window you board up or every zombie you burn, it all affects the game as you progress. Because if you leave the windows open, zombie after zombie will keep entering the building and the bullets are few and far between. Save points are fairly well spread out though, and you don't need ink ribbons like you did in the previous version, but you do still need to find a typewriter. In terms of the enemies in the game, the zombies look amazing and they are seriously creepy. They seem a bit more resilient than in the old days, so make sure you destroy the brain or they just keep getting up. There are infected dogs, lickers and tyrants to deal with, and the tyrants in particular are a real challenge, and my god, do they ever stay down? No. In terms of weapons, you start with a basic handgun, but as you progress you can find grenade launchers, shotguns and many other options. These can be upgraded if you find the appropriate attachments, and the health system is the same old green herbs first aid spray mechanism. As well as the two main campaigns, which are fantastic, you have Ghost Survivor mode, which is an arcade type scenario where you have to reach an objective or escape an area. Personally, I didn't find these that enjoyable as they're more of a simple arcade experience, but they are a nice inclusion. Finally, on gameplay, you get a decent amount of content with both main campaigns, taking me about 9 and 6 hours to complete respectively. And after completion you unlock the new second run scenarios where you get to play the game from a different perspective. You can also unlock items and outfits to be used on future playthroughs, so there's plenty there for you to keep unlocking. Graphically, the game is an absolute masterclass. The reimagining of Leon and Claire works really well, as does the new Ada Wong. The zombies look amazing, as do the other enemies, and the whole game is just a visual treat. In particular, the lighting effects are beautiful and they really convey that sort of foreboding mood and atmosphere. So graphically, it's a faultless game and one of the best looking games that I've played on the PS4 without a doubt. The audio is also exceptional. The voice acting has vastly improved from the hokey Resident Evil days where we were used to back in the day. That isn't to say that this is award-winning quality, but it's a lot more believable and it's a lot more immersive in terms of the narrative and the delivery. The sound effects and the environmental ambience is terrific, and it really keeps you on edge as you explore the darkly gothic police department. Finally, the music is perfectly suited to the atmosphere, and the audio is just supremely high standard across the board. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? It's the best survival horror game money can buy. The new control system and camera is a vast improvement on the original. Both campaigns are worth playing through, and the unlockable scenarios keep you coming back for more. The graphics are exceptional, as is the sound. The balance between puzzle solving, combat, survival horror and story progression is perfect. It's very creepy, and it's one of the most faultless gaming experiences I've ever had. What's bad? Ghost Survivor mode felt a little bit like an arcade game and would have benefited from a little bit more traditional Resident Evil styling. But barring that very small issue, I don't have a bad word to say about this game. So, what is the verdict? Resident Evil 2 is a faithful reimagining of an all-time survival horror classic. It retains the core story of the original but improves the controls, camera system and many other things to make the game even more enjoyable. Both campaigns are excellently structured and worth playing. Yes, they do have a fair amount of crossover, but they also introduce unique pathways the further you progress. This is just a wonderful game. It's terrifying, tense, and beautiful to look at. The audio is exceptional, and it's just an absolute masterclass in terms of how to structure a game from start to finish. I love the original, and I still do, but this remake is exactly what a remake should be. It keeps all the best parts of the original, but improves everything that needed improving. I mean, I can honestly say throughout all the time I played this, I never felt a sense of annoyance or disappointment. It's a stunning piece of work, and I absolutely love it. If you've never played it, then I envy you, because you've got one of the best games of all time to explore for the first time. So with all that being said, and considering the level of excellence this game brings to the table, my score for Resident Evil 2 is 10 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.